The intensity does seem to be increasing each year.
We've all seen it in the last couple of years. Wildfires have been increasing not only in numbers, but intensity as well, and they're impacting more than just people.
We're losing wildlife. Every acre of forest that burns, you lose between 20 and 80 animals. I mean, our wildlife populations are being decimated.
Back in 2014, William Simpson had been pondering the very question that many of us might be thinking today. Why is this happening, and how do we solve this problem? But during one of his studies, Simpson discovered one possible solution: wild horses.
They were actually beneficial to the landscape. They were creating natural fire breaks and areas of reduced fuels.
Now, Simpson and Wild Horse Fire Brigade are working towards reintroducing more wild horses into Oregon's forests to scarf away at the many fire fuels that grow each and every year.
We put them into the critical wilderness areas where we have these champion trees, watersheds at risk, now areas called fire sheds. We put them out there, they get the grass down. And then what we know from science, when you reduce the fuel, you reduce both the frequency and intensity of wildfire.
According to Simpson, on average, one horse will eat about 5.5 tons of fire fuels every year. Add a couple thousand horses back into the landscape, and you can imagine the impact this would make, especially during a trying time for some of Oregon's herbivora population.
Well, there's over 100 scientists that have published work that talk about when you lose your herbivory, catastrophic wildfire evolves.
According to the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, mule deer populations here in Oregon have been dramatically declining. But why is that important?
Why is that important? These animals were grazing almost 3 million tons of annual grass and brush.
And Simpson believes wild horses could fill in the gaps.
Just reduce the amount of frequency and intensity of fire by 3 or 4%. That translates into hundreds of millions of dollars a year in savings for taxpayers.
And he's not alone in his belief.
I'm convinced is not an experiment. It's part of nature. It's part of history. It goes back thousands of years. So,
Oregon gubernatorial Court Boyce also told me that he's behind the Wild Horse Fire Brigade project and believes that even if the impacts are minimal, this project is worth investing in.
Even if it's only 10% or 20%, it makes it different. Again, it's one important tool that we can use, and I'm convinced we need to take this very seriously.
Although the project has been around for several years now, Simpson says it's had a hard time picking up steam because of a lack of support from those in power. Still, Simpson says he'll continue on with his fight until more wild horses are reintroduced back into our wilderness to help prevent future wildfires.
The things you see in these fires is horrific, and we can start to make a positive change. And even if it's a little, it doesn't have to be the silver bullet. It's free, so it's cost effective, and we can do this right now.
Reporting in Medford, I'm Brett Taylor, Newswatch 12.